for some Real Talk Tarot, and today we are actually going to touch on the topic of if they wanted to, you know. I feel like that's a popular thing, like if they wanted to, they would, if all those things. So let's do real talk and let's see what is the energy for you guys when it comes to that premise of if they wanted to. Okay, if they wanted to, what? Let's see. If they wanted to, King of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. If they wanted to, Seven of Cups in reverse. I apologize for the glare. I really do need to get that fixed. And the Magician in reverse. Okay, let's answer first with this King of Cups. If they wanted to, what? King of Cups. Obviously, King of Cups is the energy of, you know, a masculine king, energy of emotion, right? Able to kind of keep it under control and still be very loyal and committed. And let's see. If they wanted to, okay, what about this Seven of Cups in reverse? I'm hearing it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Okay. Let's see. It's not that simple, and I feel like you guys already know why. So something like that. If they wanted to, they would. And that's what I'm getting. Yeah. Okay. I think I get where we're going with this. So to start off with the King of Cups, I feel like you guys are dealing with the King of Cups. I feel like you guys are dealing with someone that actually there's a lot of either love or potential in love there. I think this is someone that they are actually quite loyal or committed, or there's something about their emotions, their feelings being very stable, actually. Like they are able to keep themselves afloat in the feelings that they have. But with the Eight of Swords in reverse, the Nine of Swords, and the Six of Wands, I think you guys are, like, they could be very steady in the way they feel, but you guys are viewing it as, well, you know, there's no success there. I'm just stressed about this, and I don't know what to think. Like, I feel like that's how you guys are feeling, despite the fact that maybe this King of Cups is actually very much stable in how they feel towards you guys. Seven of Cups in reverse. You've got the Star in reverse, the Fool, the Hermit. Again, there's something about how it may seem easy for something to be the way that it should be, but upon deeper introspection, it seems like there are some things that sometimes it's not that simple. That's what I keep getting. It's like it's not that simple. And as much as sometimes you want something, it's not something that you can take a risk on, maybe just yet, because the Fool is in reverse, right? Like there are opportunities to take risks, but then there are times when you cannot, and you cannot eventually or potentially have what you truly want. And I feel like there needs to be an understanding on maybe your guys' part that it's not that simple. Like if only you would think about it, it's not that simple. That's really the phrase that I'm getting in my head. So maybe this King of Cups keeps saying that to you guys, or maybe they just keep thinking it. Now with the Magician in reverse, you've got the Nine of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands in reverse, the Four of Swords, and the Three of Cups in reverse. Now I'm getting a little bit of defiant energy, meaning I think if this king did have something to say about the way that you guys are questioning how they feel, they're kind of like, well, if you don't want to, right? You have every right to do or make a decision for yourself. You don't have to. If you don't want to, you don't have to, I'm getting. They could have said that. They might be thinking that. There's something about it's weird because this comes off a little bit challenging, a little bit argumentative, where they're kind of saying, well, if you don't want to, then don't, right? And it's like, it's your choice. You don't have to. I mean, maybe they asked for time, maybe there's just a pause, I don't know what this is, but it's like they can't be with you, but you know, if you don't want to. But yet they're showing up in a King of Cups energy where actually they do have feelings here, actually they do feel something, and they are actually kind of loyal and committed to you guys without you guys knowing it, or without you guys seeing it. So if they wanted to, they would. I guess it is saying that it's not as simple as that. Like if they wanted to, they would. It's not as simple as that. They're kind of saying there's more to it. And they look very situated in their feelings for you guys, meaning they look like they know how they feel. They are very calm about the emotions they have. It kind of also is saying that you should be trusting it. Like you should already know that, and there should be no questioning. But again, you guys are just showing me an energy of just being distressed and, you know, overthinking, and how come they don't do this, and why don't they want this? And so as calm as they seem, you guys are the opposite. It probably because it's the way that it makes you feel, right? Maybe you don't have assurances. Maybe they don't give you assurances. I don't know. It's weird. It's like they're floating on their own little, you know, boat away from you guys, kind of being like, well, this is how I feel. And then you guys are like caught up in all of this energy. But to the point that they're like, well, if you can't handle it, I don't know. That's how it's kind of coming up. You know what? I'm going to do a comparison on your guys' energy. I kind of want to see what's going on. I'm going to take a look at you guys and then this King of Cups that you're dealing with. So let's get your energy first. Your energy first. Date. Okay. Date. Your energy first. Travel. All right. Yeah, I'm hearing travel distances. So you feel like if they really wanted to, they would travel distances towards you. Like they would close out that distance, you know, they would make their way towards you. Now what about this person, this King of Cups that you guys are dealing with potentially? What is their energy? Okay. Yeah. Home. Ghosted. Mask. Guys, I am comfortable enough to say this person has strong feelings for you guys, even maybe love. And they may not be showing it. They may not be offering it, but it exists. It's there. Okay, there's a need for focus on finances. Maybe one or both of you are doing that. Okay, but I think it's okay. Let's start off with you guys. Date card, travel card, fated meeting, and truth. So here's the thing. I think you guys are like, you want to see your person. You want to be able to go out. You want them to court you. You guys want to date. You want to date. You want to be able to meet up. And maybe that's not possible a lot of the time, right? And that's the thing. It's like you feel like, well, if they wanted to, they would date you. They would travel towards you. You know, they would close out that distance. But with the fated meeting card, it just seems like you were meant to be, you know, it is destined, it's predetermined, right? This is something that was meant to happen, but at the same time with the truth card, I think in time this person will tell you the truth of their feelings, but maybe it has to come from them, and it can't come from you guys asking for it or demanding it. I feel like the truth will be revealed in some shape, way, or form here, but only at the opportunity, time, and comfort that this king will allow. Now that's up to you guys if that's okay with you, right? You don't have to necessarily accept that, but that just seems to be the energy. But you guys are expecting way more, right? If they wanted to, they would tell me how they feel. If they wanted to, they would make their way towards me, and they would make time, and they would travel, and they would come to me. If they wanted to, they would want to see me. So there's a lot of that going on for you guys, but it does seem like on their end, they're thinking of it in a different way. Okay, now what are they specifically thinking, feeling, you know, what's going on for them? They have a lot of cards. They have home, ghosted, mask, liquid courage, ex-lover, toxic relationship. So I'm going to say for this King of Cups that you guys are dealing with, you know, this is someone that they will not do something until they're comfortable with it. That's why the home card is there. Unless they feel like they are safe enough, or it's comfortable enough, or it's you know, it's a good time to do something, they're going to keep floating in that boat and not make their way towards you just yet. Now they could have actually ghosted you guys. They could have really left you, you know, feeling rejected. They could be ignoring you, right? But that mask card is also telling me they're probably just not being very forthright with their feelings. Again, let's be discerning about this kind of energy and these kinds of readings. You know, sometimes we want to think certain things, but I think I've said a lot of very specific things about this reading for you to understand if it is yours or not. Okay. In this context, though, I do feel it's a king that is just being very secretive. They're kind of, they are, it feels like they are, but they're not. It feels like there's a sense of, well, you know how I feel. I don't have to express it all the time. And so to them, it's like, I don't really need to show you or tell you because you should already know that. It kind of comes off like that. Now, to be honest, it could be because this king is still trying to gain courage to actually reveal how they really feel. It maybe they are trying to gain the bravery, the confidence they need. Maybe they do need liquid courage to really be able to express something. But you know, the thing about this is I think this is a king that has gone through a very toxic connection, right? I feel like they have dealt with someone where that was very difficult. It was very, there was a lot of fighting, codependency and things like that. And I think that has really affected the way that they now pursue connections, the way that they express their love. I think a past connection, relationship kind of really made them very weary or afraid or hesitant to express love. Okay. And that's why they're like, well, I know how I feel. I'm sitting in this boat and I'm going to stay here until I feel like it's safe enough to actually dock the boat. And, you know, you guys could be on the dock waiting and wondering, where are they? And the more that, you know, you're just standing there kind of looking off into the distance and not seeing anything, the more that you're questioning everything, right? I feel like that's what's going on for you guys specifically. So this seems to be the energy between you and this person. And it isn't as simple as if they could, they would. If they wanted to, they would. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on here. But we will go on to guidance and try to understand what is the purpose, right? What is the meaning of the reading and what are you supposed to take away from it? Again, it just seems like if there isn't really any kind of opportunity, what are you waiting for? Like, why aren't you moving on? Because if you view this as, well, they're not really doing anything, then what are we standing around waiting for, right? Again, we're going to get to the real talk part of it. Because it feels like by this point you should already be walking away. So what's keeping you? What's keeping you here? You know, you're in this energy of, well, if they wanted to, they would. You know, if they could, they would. Well, if you really believe that, then what are you standing around waiting for? There's nothing to wait for if that's the thinking that you have, right? And you could be a Queen of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I mean, obviously, there's a point to why you're thinking and feeling this way, because you also feel like if there's real, genuine love, then there will be potential for, you know, a relationship, a commitment, a connection, you know, teamwork, collaboration. There's going to be that flow of really trying to make the effort, right, to make the connection work. Valid, absolutely, right? It's just, why are we still holding on to this then? Because that's obviously not what this is. You know, this is someone that is asking you to kind of trust in the way they feel, but they're going to move at their pace and you can take it or leave it. It's kind of like that, honestly, in an abrupt kind of in your face way. That's what it's trying to say. So if that's the case, why are we still here? That's really the question. And I guess it's because you're also kind of in the energy of, well, I really don't know. Is this connection meant to be? Should I really be waiting for this, right? I don't know what to make of it, but I do feel something. I kind of know that we have this connection, and that's all well and good. But if they are not doing or taking any kind of action that satisfies you, then why are you expecting something different if this person already shows you this is how they do things? Okay. I mean, Page of Cups is the Page of Cups. Look, you can continue to give the benefit of the doubt, perfectly okay. But if they are not measuring up or giving you what you need, and it's not even bare minimum to you, then why waste time? Why continue to see it? Here's the thing. You really have to take a stance of, you know what? I'm going to trust that this King of Cups really feels something for me, and I'm just going to let them come towards me. And when that time comes, then we will see where it goes. you either take that stance, or you will be, you know what, if they wanted to, they would, and if they're not doing anything, then I need to leave. You gotta decide which one is it. You could either see it through, believe and trust in what this connection is, or, well, you can wait for it to come towards you. Are you willing to be patient enough? Do you have that understanding to allow for it to come towards you? Or do you want something that will serve you now, where it comes towards you now, and you feel that sense of comfort, that sense of provision, like being provided for and cared for, right? Because you can't have both things. You got to decide what you're going to trust and what you're going to know and understand. And again, obviously valid. You are concerned about your future. You're kind of in like, well, I don't know if I should keep waiting for this. Like, what if, you want to think about your future, and that's very understandable. I guess it's just a matter of deciding, what path do you think will bring you to that happiness that you want to see for yourself? Is it waiting for this to come whenever it does, or deciding, you know what, I can't do anything about that, and I really don't want to be waiting around, right? Either way, you have to realize connections are difficult, and I think this one is obviously showing so much difficulty and challenge. I guess it's just choosing the lesser evil at this point, honestly, real talk. Sometimes it comes down to that. You choose the lesser evil. What is the least worst situation? Again, it's not about having to really choose between two people or anything like that, but it's choosing the path where you feel is best for you, right? Are you going to wait for this, or are you going to decide, no, I got to move on? And you already know what this brings you. What do you think the other path would bring you if you would decide to pursue that? You don't know what happens on the other end of that. And yes, you don't know what happens here too eventually, but it's already kind of showing you what it is. So I guess at the end of the day, you really have to weigh your options and consider, should you stop putting energy towards this and maybe put your energy towards something else? Because at this point, I think you know that there is not an opportunity for a new beginning in love with this King of Cups right now. And if you know that, then you know that that's not going to move forward, but you can actually still move forward in a new beginning in love if you decide to take a different route, right? You take a different road. That brings you totally somewhere else, and who knows what's there, okay? That's really how it's showing up. And if it's meant to be with this King of Cups, then your roads will diverge. Like, it will connect you back again, and will just bring you back to that point where you are meant to meet. But if it's not, then it continues to separate and go on your own ways. And I feel like that's the real talk for this reading today. If they wanted to, they would, but yeah, but there's a big but there, okay? So let's get one more. Yep. Okay. And so Aquarius, Virgo, Aries, and Cancer energy. I will go ahead. Taurus and the number 11.